Hello, everyone. Just making sure that. Okay. All right, we'll just give folks a couple of minutes here to get online now that we're live. And if you're just joining us, we are here with the pumpkin litter and Krista and Felicity, who are looking after them right now. So while we're waiting for a few folks to come online, we will just ask you to comment either in the chat, or if you're on Facebook Live, you can comment in the comment section and let us know where you are tuning in from, because we would love to know where people are watching from and how you heard about the tune in broadcast today with the puppies. So we will get started now. I can see that we've got people watching both on Zoom and on Facebook Live. And so if it's your first time joining us, welcome. If it's you are a frequent watcher of Tune In Tuesday, I know it's been a while since we've had one, welcome back. And we are live today. My name is Tara Doherty. I'm PADS's Director of Communications, and I am here live with Krista Beach, who is one of our staff members, but also one of our wonderful volunteers who is caring for this incredible little litter of our pumpkin litter puppies that were born earlier this year. So how old are these puppies, Krista?
They are 4.5 weeks old.
They are very busy little monkeys, and
they're 5 weeks old.
5 weeks old. Busy monkeys that are quite enjoying the strings on Krista's shirt. And but can we introduce them to everybody?
I'm gonna grab the guy chewing on the fence. So there's 2 girls and a boy. This little girl is Lumina.
Hello, Lumina. I foresee a future where you're called Lumi.
Yes. This little girl is Aspen.
Hello, Aspen.
She's very spicy.
Yeah. There was an Aspen service dog when I first started at PADS.
Sorry, so Aspen 2, yes.
Yeah, Aspen 2. So it's, I don't know. I find it really neat when we've had a dog that's had a long working career and another puppy comes along with their name, and it just feels very special. So that's very cool. Hello, Aspen. And last but not least,
this is a little boy, Casper.
Little boy, Casper. Hello, Casper.
It's so, the wrinkliest face.
The ring is so wrinkly. And so these puppies are named after varieties of pumpkins, which was also fitting because they were born right around Halloween. Were they born on Halloween? I don't remember. I even delivered them and I don't remember, but
I think it was a day or two before.
Yeah, but right around Halloween. And it was kind of neat because some of the names feel very Halloween-y, as well as being the names of pumpkins. So welcome. I see our numbers going up here, and more people are tuning in and watching. So I am going to take my face off the screen because nobody came here to see me. I guarantee that. We are here to see the puppies. So we are also, this is a very special day for charities around the world. It is Giving Tuesday, which after, Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all of those things, everybody's doing their Christmas shopping. It is just a reminder that the charities of the world need your gifts too. And so this year we chose to fund this little litter of puppies throughout their training. And so our goal today, and everybody is blowing us away. We're thrilled. We're already at, I think we're just over $10,000 on our campaign. I just had it up on the screen. Yeah, we're at 10,400 as of a couple of minutes ago. I'll just hit the refresh button here. And so we're trying to raise $30,000 to fund the training of these adorable puppies to get them closer to their client. And so for those of you that are new to PADS, our puppies all of them start out in whelping homes just like this, where they live together. They're born in volunteers' homes. And these beautiful puppies weren't actually born in Krista's home. They were born at the home of their mom, Nat's breeder caretaker, Ron and Ruth, who are amazing humans, but Mother Nature is tricky. And sometimes people book their vacations and then dogs don't plan their reproductive cycle accordingly. And so Ron and Ruth are away right now. So they've come to stay with Krista, which is another wonderful thing about our community. So we thought it would be a fun way to bring our community together to make sure that these puppies will have absolutely everything they need over the next few years as they go through training. And that is their food and their vet bills and their puppy classes and the supplies that PADS provides, their crates and vests and all of those good things that puppies need as they journey towards their future clients. So for those of you watching, if you've just tuned in, we're here with the Pumpkin Litter for a very special Giving Tuesday, Tune In Tuesday broadcast. Say that 5 times fast. But if you have just joined us, if you could pop into the comment section and tell us where you are joining us from. And if you have already done that, if you have any questions for us about these puppies or about PADS program or about Giving Tuesday or anything at all, feel free to post in the comment section, or if you're watching, I know there's a bunch of you on Zoom. If you're watching on Zoom, you can hit that Q&A button. So if you're watching on your computer, it'll be right down at the bottom in the center. And if you're on your phone, you should see a few dots, usually in the top right-hand corner. If you click on that, you'll see the Q&A function there, and you can submit your question, and then I will try to answer them on air for you, or Krista will answer them depending on what the question is. So I am just looking right now. There's a bunch of comments coming in. Oh, they were born on October 22nd, which I had also forgotten to mention was very special because it is their mother's birthday. So these puppies arrived on their mom's birthday. So they share a very happy birthday. So, I'm so glad the captions are coming through for you. Well, we always have these turned on, so feel free to tune in. And I am so incredibly grateful for technology. We had a wonderful volunteer for years that came in and live captioned for us, listened in and typed really quickly. But goodness, through COVID, captioning technology has improved drastically, and it makes it so much easier for us. So sometimes there's little odd spelling errors and things, but for the most part, it's quite good. So I'm so glad you were able to tune in and participate. And these puppies are being very quiet. Krista warned me they were going to be very loud. Oh, you muted yourself. Now
I had mute on.
So quiet. I was like, she warned me they were going to be loud. And then they were so quiet. So we have one question, I think it's coming from one of our staff. Can you explain the reason behind some of the toys in the X-Pen? What are those meant to do for the puppies? Do you want to answer that? Do you want me to answer, Krista?
Go for it.
Okay, so our puppies are going to live lives where they are going to have different experiences probably almost every day. And so from the time they're tiny babies, we try to expose them and introduce novelty often, so that from the time they're born, they're experiencing something new all the time. And they just learn that new things happen and they're not scary. And so right now they've got this little slide, which in addition to adding some novelty, also adds some dimension to their pen, but it's small enough they're not going to get hurt, but they can crawl up that slippy surface and, successfully, unsuccessfully. And at the back, there's some little tiny steps that will help get them used to going up and down stairs to a certain degree. The soft plushy toys, they will sometimes play tug with, or they will just fall asleep on them. And then this little box that Krista has with the little wiffle balls hanging down from strings, it just gets them used to like things moving over their body, as brushing up against them, things like that. One of the things that a lot of dogs find challenging is things touching their body, like especially not human things like hands, but things that are going to brush against them. And so as a working dog goes out into the world, if they go through a turnstile, or they're, moving through, a store where there's racks of things, et cetera, or tight spaces, and something brushes up against them, we don't want that to be alarming or startling. But the other thing is, and you don't see much of it right now other than their colors, but all of these puppies, of course, are going to wear some sort of equipment or gear, and just having things, being used to things touching their bodies or on their bodies is good training for their future careers, and getting them used to that. So, and we will sometimes even put little vests on them. Oh, Krista's bringing them out for us right now. So, the mom of this litter is Nat, who was born actually in the very same house that her puppies were born at. So Nat is one of Strudel's puppies from, I believe it was the Avengers litter. And then these puppies, there she is. Hi, pretty lady. And then these little puppies, their sire was from another program, and I'm just actually pulling it up right now because somebody, and where it is, asked me this question and I'm blanking out. So, but the good news is I have it at my fingertips, so I will come back to you with the answer of who the dad was. So often we collaborate with other schools in our breeding program so that we get some variety in our breeding lines. We're part of the Assistance Dogs International Breeding Cooperative, and so we share breeding stock with other programs. So the dad of this litter is a dog named Kingston, who is from Guide Dogs for the Blind. And so he was basically just used to sire this litter. So, but yeah, there you go. So, oh, and I see another question is coming in here. So let me just bring it up. Oh, and it was the same question. So, yeah, so Nat and Kingston are the parents of this litter. So, and how is Nat doing as a first-time mama, Krista?
Nat is a great little mama. She's impatiently waiting outside of the pen, so I'll let her in a little bit so everybody can see her, but she kind of takes up the whole camera space. So she's a good mama. She comes in and checks on them, feeds them, and cleans them and stuff. She enjoys her company.
Yeah. And like most new mamas, it took her a couple of days to fully kind of figure out what her job was and everything else, but she was wonderful during delivery. I was there for the delivery of these guys, and she was cleaning her puppies and checking them out and doing all the things that she should do, and had a really, really nice, fairly easy delivery. Yeah, and these beautiful little monkeys appeared. So, I'm just looking, sorry, I'm just reading. There's lots of comments and questions coming in here. So
I'll feed them their lunch while we're watching.
Oh, okay. So you guys are going to have an experience. You get to see all of the joy that happens when little tiny Labrador puppies find food. So
These
go for it.
guys are pretty tame in terms of the litter of puppies, I'd have to say.
Yeah. Well, there's only 3 of them in this case. So you notice that Krista said puppy, puppy, puppy as she put the food bowl down. Now, these guys have just started on solid food. And so the response is not quite as dramatic as it will be by the time they leave at 8 weeks. But we do this puppy call that is fairly textbook, because it sets their puppy raisers, et cetera, up for success, because they associate that puppy, puppy kind of higher pitch call with food. And what's really interesting is as they mature, you can even, young puppies like this, call them off of their food using that puppy puppy call, because it's so value loaded for them. So, and they are, yeah, Lisa says they're pretty chunky for 5 weeks. They are big puppies. And when we do find with smaller litters of puppies, there's less competition for pretty much everything. And so they do tend to be on the chunky side, especially when they're still nursing from their mom. As they move into kibble, et cetera, we can regulate their food consumption a little bit better so that their body condition is good. Although these guys, they are bigger puppies, but they don't look like they're struggling that they've gained too much. Although sometimes, for those of you who have watched for a long time, you might recall we had a couple of other litters where there wasn't many puppies in the litter, and the puppies were so big that we had to put speed bumps under their blanket. So we would roll up towels and stuff, so they would have to like climb over little hills to get to mom, because there was no competition for the food. So they would just nurse and nurse and nurse, and they were so big that they couldn't get their little feet under them. And so we don't want that. Obviously, we want our puppies to be a nice healthy weight. So, oh, and Nicole's saying, yeah, Ranger still comes to puppy call at the dog park. Ranger is Nicole's service dog, mobility service dog. And yeah, and I have almost 9-year-old Cadence here, and she still responds to puppy. And I have a litter of puppies in my house, and I've been using that. And yeah, she comes running every time, hopeful that the bowl of food being set down is for her. So yeah, it imprints very, very strongly, which is nice. It makes a nice emergency kind of recall before they get that, actual cue of here that they learn in puppy raising. So, and sorry, Electra, I apologize. Hopefully somebody on your end of the screen is giving you some cookies for being so wonderful and coming when you hear puppy from the computer. So we'll stop saying that over and over again. Otherwise, every Pad's dog that is in the room watching this Tune In Tuesday with their person is going to feel very shortchanged. So for those of you that have just joined in, I see that our numbers are kind of climbing here of people that are watching as the broadcast is going along. So you're live with us with the pumpkin litter. My name's Tara. I'm Pad's Director of Communications. I'm here with Krista, one of our staff who's looking after the litter this week. And then right at the front of the camera, you also see Nat, who is the puppy's mama at the front of the camera, who's come in to maybe help clean up some of the last dregs of the food bowl. There's the added bonus of when we start our puppies on solid food, it's part of the process of weaning them. It's also the point in time when they have teeth and mama is less interested in nursing them, and we still want a little of both. So as they finish eating, mama comes in and she might let them nurse for a minute or two, not for very long, but she gets a little bonus of being able to kind of lick that bowl clean. And it's just that little bit of extra motivation that sometimes the mamas need once these little guys turn into piranhas, except that Krista, very hungry puppies. I'm sorry, Nat, I lied. You got nothing. Well, she did get a little.
Normally there's crumbs in there for her. Not today.
And so Chris is asking if Pads is going to be keeping all 3 from this litter. Do you know, Krista?
Yeah, I think they're all staying.
They're all staying. Okay. So, yeah, often when we do a breeding with another program, so in this case, we bred to a dog from another program, that other program will get one of the puppies, but there's a whole bunch of calculations that go into that, how many puppies were born in the litter, et cetera. With our larger litters, often half the litter will go to, into the cooperative, and then they'll get dispersed in order of priority into what we call the puppy queue, and go off to various programs around North America and sometimes even around the globe. So we're quite involved. So it's not unheard of, but it is unusual for us to be keeping the whole litter. It doesn't happen very often. So the other thing is I have an announcement to make on Tune In Tuesday for those of you that are live, is we made our campaign live this morning for Giving Tuesday, and we are off to a roaring start this morning. Our goal today by midnight tonight is to raise $30,000 to support the training of these wonderful puppies. And I keep refreshing. Oh my goodness. In the time that we have been live, we have gone up to a little over $2,000. So you all are absolutely amazing. Please keep those donations coming in. We're at 12,000. Sorry, I'm just $12,534. So huge thanks to everybody that is giving so generously. But the announcement that I have to make is that we just had a wonderful anonymous donor from our community step forward and say that they wanted to help support our campaign and encourage people to give. And so they have committed to matching the next $15,000 that is donated today. So if you make a donation of $20, it will now be $40 for pads. So please give generously. And so that will be kicking in right away here now. So every donation from now onwards, apparently we're going to be sending an email as soon as I hang up to let folks know that we have this matching gift. So there's 10 hours left in our campaign. We're at 12,500. We're trying to hit 30,000. It would be amazing if we even surpass that, because we could put that towards another litter that's coming up as well. So for those of you that don't know, the ripples of COVID continue. Charities, including pads, are continuing to feel the effects as, you know, the economy and investments and stock markets and all those kinds of things have had kind of ongoing effects from the pandemic. And so it's been a tougher year for us, especially at a time when the demand for our dogs is at an all-time high. And we've really ramped up our program. And for those of you that follow us on social media, you will have seen the flood of placements that have been going out over the last few months. It's just been truly incredible. So but funding is much needed to make sure that keeps happening. So and yeah, somebody said their screen froze, so you might have to just refresh, leave and come back, because it does seem to still be rolling. But and then we have a question here. Generally speaking, out of the 3 puppies, how many will become assistance dogs? That is a really good question. And it varies a lot, because people ask, like, what's the average across the industry? And it can vary a lot because some programs don't have multiple streams of dogs. So they place, for example, just guide dogs. And so their success rate might be lower, air quotes, because they're training for one type of work. PATS has 4 streams that we train our dogs for. So we train for hearing, for mobility service, PTSD service, and then finally for our accredited facility dog program. So that gives our dogs a lot of options of career paths. So instead of telling them they all need to be doctors, they can be lawyers or teachers or counselors. So they can kind of pick from multiple options, which allows our success rate to go up. So, but it also fluctuates from year to year as our breeding program changes and we focus all of these puppies are purpose bred. So we're breeding for very specific traits. And so I would say industry wide, I think the average right now is about 45%. So it's tough with a litter of 3, but let's say if you had 100 puppies, 45 of them would go on to clients. And I think at PADS, I don't know what our number is. I don't want to say a number and then get it wrong. And then somebody will give me heck, but it is close to that. And so, but the other thing too, that we've talked about at length is that as our breeding program becomes really successful in some ways, that success rate percentage might actually go down, but it depends what you're measuring success by, because our goal of success is always our client satisfaction. So if the quality of our dogs are going up, but we're placing less of them percentage wise, that is a different measure of success. And our goal is always focusing on that client satisfaction side of things. So we want to breed better and better dogs. And we also want to be selecting better and better dogs. So it's a very complex question. So I hope that sort of answered it for you. I am just looking because there's so many comments coming in. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions. If you're just tuning in and you have questions about the litter, we're here with the pumpkin litter, or you have questions about pads, or you have questions about our Giving Tuesday campaign, feel free to ask them in the comments. Or if you're on Zoom, there's a bunch of you that are here on Zoom, you can click that Q&A button and tell us what you would like to know about pads or about these beautiful puppies. We've got about 7 minutes left here that we're going to be live with these puppies, and you're more than welcome to just enjoy watching their cute little faces. I'll tell you a little bit more about them. So we have two females and a male here, and they're all going to stay in training at pads and go into puppy raising. Then they're going to spend about 14 to 16 months in puppy raising, where they live with volunteer families. And at that point, they will go on to advanced training, where they learn how to work with their future human partners. And they really, each one of them is going to get to choose their own career path and tell us what they really want to do. So, for example, a dog that really is calm and loves people and just is very dialed in to humans and their emotions, but doesn't get overly fussed by those emotions, is not worried about people that are upset or crying, might be placed as an accredited facility dog. If you have a dog with similar traits, but who very much bonds strongly to one person, they might be placed as a PTSD service dog who works with a veteran or first responder with PTSD. And then if we have a dog that just has that working drive, they just love to do things and they love to learn and all that good stuff, some of those dogs will be trained to be mobility service dogs, where they do things like they pick things up, open, close doors, press elevator buttons, turn lights on and off, pull a wheelchair, act as a bracing mobility dog, to provide balance support for somebody that needs that, or a pulling dog for a wheelchair. So if somebody's in a manual wheelchair but needs help once in a while from their dog to kind of get up a hill or a curb cut or things like that, a ramp, these dogs will be trained to, some of them will be trained to do that. And finally, our last category is a very different kind of service dog, is our hearing dogs that will alert to sounds in the environment. So it could be anything from someone calling the client's name to a doorbell or the phone ringing or smoke alarm, anything like that, and alerting the client and letting them know what the sound is. So, and oh my goodness, these puppies are adorable. So
I might have fed them too early. Now they're all passed out. Should have fed them closer to the end.
Yeah. And so Karen is asking, is not better to donate straight to pads so a portion doesn't go to the host Facebook? Yeah. So the Facebook Live is just our broadcast. There is a link in the comments. It was posted by pads. But if you go to pads.ca/give, GIVE, you'll go straight to our website and you can make a donation. And if you want to cover the fees, you can. And if not, there are no fees to pads. When people select to pay the fees, it helps support the platform that we use for fundraising. But which is why sometimes you'll see funny donation amounts next to people's names of how much they've donated, as they've offered to help cover the fees. So yeah, so if you go to pads.ca/give, you can make the donation. It comes straight to pads, and every donation made through that page, starting about 5 minutes ago, will be matched dollar for dollar for the next $15,000 worth of donations that are made today by an incredible anonymous donor in our community that we are so grateful for, that wanted to kind of help give our campaign a little extra push today. So if you haven't made a donation yet, please do head over to the pads.ca/give and make a one-time or sign up as one of our monthly donors, which means you can give an amount every single month, which helps sustain our program, helps us plan and budget and all that good stuff. So I am blown away, because in the time that we have been broadcasting, we've gone up like $2,100 or so on our campaign. So thank you to everybody that's going and making a donation. Please keep them coming. We want to hit $30,000 by midnight tonight. And I have no doubt we have an incredible community that we will get there. So I will put one last call out here. If anybody has any questions. Oh, somebody's asking why Nat was chosen as a breeding dog. So Nat is a very lovely lady. She comes out of our own breeding lines. For brings some wonderful qualities to our program. And so we are looking, she's just such a sweet dog, and her puppy raisers did such a wonderful job with her. I know I was there when she was having her puppies, and her breeder caretakers were just raving about what a bright, willing, easy dog she is. Always willing to kind of get up and go, but also has a nice off switch. And those are all qualities that we love to see in our working dogs. The dogs that, you know, are willing to kind of at the drop of a hat, hop to their feet and get the job done, but also are quite happy to just curl up at your feet and chill out. Apparently, is that Casper you're holding?
Lumina.
Oh, Lumina. So little Lumina apparently is demonstrating the pads off switch. She's getting some practice in. We ate, so now we're tired. So, and thank you, Cameron. Cameron made a comment saying, as a waiting client, I appreciate all the donations given to pads. And I am going to echo that. I am also a waiting client. Some of you that know me know that my mobility dog Cadence retired earlier this year, earlier than I expected her to. And it is a super incredible thing to know that these dogs are available and provided because of the generosity of people like you that are watching, and that happens as a gift to someone, because life can be very challenging with a disability. And so having a gift like this that comes very much without a lot of the strings that often come with a lot of the challenges is very, very cool. So thank you to everyone who has been so generous today and continues to be generous. So I'm sorry, I'm just reading comments that are coming in and seeing if there's questions. So oh, that's interesting. So Leeds said that she handled Nat at their first birthday and noticed the difference from her and her brother. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think one of the misconceptions, it certainly was one that I had early on when I first got involved with pads, is I kind of felt like all pads dogs were kind of cut from the same cloth. They were all very similar. And what I have learned over the years is how radically different they all are. I mean, certainly they all carry some similarities in the sense that they are purpose bred for health and temperament and having very stable temperaments, but oh my goodness, each and every one of them has their own personality. Even within litters, you can have such radically different dogs, and yet you also see very cool similarities. Cadence, my mobility service dog, was a breeding dog for pads before, and I've often seen her puppies, or I'll post videos or photos of Cadence doing certain things, and I'll get comments from people that have her puppies saying, oh my gosh, that's such a, surf move or this. And so the genetics are strong in some things. In the case of Cadence, apparently it is like the paw on the arm and the grass rollies, but among other qualities. But yeah, it's really neat to see the similarities and the differences in our lines of dogs. We just celebrated last week the great Papa Pride, who was one of our stud dogs for many years, who I think most of the dogs in our program are related to in some way or another. He has very distinctive ears, and it's quite funny because I will see posts on other programs, Facebook pages of a dog, and I'm like, oh, that looks like a Pride puppy. And lo and behold, if you go back and you look at the genetics, it is, or he's in the line somewhere because it has such distinctive ears. So, yeah, Sarah's saying Nat and her sister Parker have similarities, but also very different. And Nicole says she's had 3 pads dogs. They're all awesome, but all very different. So absolutely true. So we are going to wrap up here because I just realized we went a little bit over with our chatting. I don't see any more questions. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you haven't already, I know many of you have, please go to pads.ca/give, GIVE, and make a donation today. The next $15,000 worth of donations that come in are going to be matched dollar for dollar by one of our donors. So thank you to them for coming forward and offering to help kind of add incentive to our campaign. So basically, for every dollar you make a donation today, it will be a $2 donation instead, thanks to this wonderful donor. So they've requested to remain anonymous, so we'll leave it at that. But just so much gratitude to them. So, and thank you everyone who is tuning in, and thank you for all the donations. We're excited to see them coming in. And if you can't donate, that is fine too. Do us a favor, go to our Facebook page and share out. In a couple of minutes, we're going to be putting up a post that announces the match that's just come in. And as soon as that goes live, will you share it for us to your friends and family and ask them to make a gift to Pads today, and that it will be doubled. It's a really easy way, doesn't cost you anything to share. I know it's been a rough year for a lot of people financially, so do not feel bad if you cannot make a gift, but hit that share button for us and maybe share us to somebody that doesn't know who Pads is. Tell them why Pads is a great charity to give to. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Krista and Felicity and Puppies and Nat for coming on and delighting us with all of this sweet, smushy cuteness. Oh my goodness, I can't even. So much sweetness. I just want to stay on all day. No more work, only puppies. Krista's like, yeah, this is my life right now for a week. All right. Thank you, everyone. And thanks so much for your donations. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for all the wonderful questions. And we will see you all again soon.